I mentioned that when we come back, we'll be speaking to somebody who makes chocolate here in our base, Ghana, from bean to bar. And I mean, the whole process, Akua Obenewaa Donkor, she happens to be the founder of Kabi Chocolate. Initially, I used to say Kabi, but then when we found out the meaning, I realized, okay, there's a different pronunciation to it. And we already have them on the line. Hello? Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me loud enough?
Yes, please, I can hear you loud enough. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
I'm fine. It's wonderful to have you join us on the Africa Daily Show.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, now today happens to be World Chocolate Day. And we thought it would be amazing to actually reach out to somebody who has been doing this, somebody who knows, plays with it and makes it fun and interesting. Now, before we just go to anything, I just want to find out, how did it all start?
Okay, so it's been quite a journey. I started about 8 years ago, right from my kitchen, and we're now like a company. So the journey hasn't been easy, and I believe that when I realized that Ghana is the world's second largest producer of cocoa, and that our supermarkets are also filled with foreign branded chocolates, there was the need to produce chocolates locally in Ghana.
Wow. So then it was about changing the narrative. It was about telling the story of getting our brands on the shelves.
Yes.
Wow. So what type of chocolates do you make?
Okay, so we make dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and then white chocolate. Sometimes we add inclusions to these. So we have one which is my favorite. That's milk chocolate with plantain chips. That's my favorite. We also do like milk chocolate with cornflakes, with coffee, with coconuts. So it's a variety. And at times we are kind of specific. So for instance, if someone comes to us and it goes like, I'm diabetic, I can't take sugar, can you make chocolate for me? We take such orders too and make chocolates to suit the health needs of our clients.
Wow. We did see some. We're actually putting some of the designs we have on the screen, but I just want to find out what inspires your designs. I mean, a colleague of mine was more obsessed with the toolbox.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting. So I actually have an art background. I studied graphic design at KUST, and I love bright colors. And also, when I started chocolate, I realized that there was one main local brand, and it was just a bar. So for us at Deco Crafts or Kabi Chocolate, we tried to make art with chocolate. So instead of just we do make bars, all right, but sometimes just to make that special day memorable for that special someone, you have to kind of make it more creative, like chocolate shoes. We have a toolbox that we usually sell on Father's Day. We have chocolate football. There are a few times where we sculpt chocolate, but that one it takes forever, so we hardly do it. But we have we have chocolate bouquet as well. So we try to make beautiful things with chocolate in addition to chocolate bars that we sell.
Wow, that's good. I think that's where we understand the meeting point, because art has met craft. So you're literally using your artistic background to craft beautiful things out of chocolate.
Yes,
Okay. I think my friend will order for the toolbox one. I want to ask, what are some of the challenges you face in terms of having access to raw materials? Because you said from bean to bar, so everything is done here.
Okay, yeah, but maybe as I will talk, you get to see the clarity of it. So even though Ghana is the world's second largest producer of cocoa, and we, the artisanal chocolate makers, we are not so privileged because there are so many restrictions when it comes to buying raw materials. So it is illegal for me to buy cocoa beans from a farmer and process it because I need certification from Cocoa Board and I need to buy it in huge quantities. So therefore, I'm not certified to buy it now. I hope to do that when I become a bigger company. And also, so we at Deco Craft, we make from semi-finished products of cocoa, which is cocoa mass and cocoa butter. So one other disadvantage in that also is that when we are going to buy, we have to pay import duty on these products. So even though I'm in Ghana, I'm buying the product from in Ghana, I have to pay import duty because the companies who are mostly into cocoa processing are free-zone companies.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make the industry so easy to be in. It's quite a challenge to even source local products or to source cocoa mass, cocoa butter in Ghana.
Wow. But have you raised concerns about these to any of the organizations? I mean, I'm sure there should. Is there an organization for artisanal chocolate makers?
Yes, there is an organization, and it's fairly new. I think we're about a year or two old, but we've come together. We are trying to address these situations. But I also believe that a platform like yours will also help us take our plight further, because I'm surprised. I know that a lot of people are always surprised to find out that we need to pay import duty on some of the cocoa products. And if it's a particular company that sometimes if I have to go and buy from them, I have to get a clearing agent to do all the paperwork. And it's quite like really funny that you're in Ghana, you have to get a clearing agent to clear something that's produced in the company. In the country, but unfortunately, that's what we go through.
Wow, that's disturbing. Like you've mentioned, we actually will have to take it up and further grow the cause and ensure that proper awareness is brought and decisions are taken on it. Now, what inspired the name of the brand?
Okay, so let me talk about Kabi. So Kabi means to take a bite. Okay, so you see, in our culture as Ghanaians, whenever a bar of chocolate is opened, there's no way the person who opened it is going to eat it alone. You take a bite, you pass it on, so everyone in the room gets a piece. So that's where we got our name from, to show to the world that Ghanaians love to share, Ghanaians are caring, Ghanaians are generous, and also to demonstrate to the world that this is how we consume our chocolate. So it's like JKB. Mm-hmm. So that's where our name actually comes from, to take a bite. Yeah.
Wow, so it has a social impact already. The story behind it is really nice, like 3 points in a room, and then I give you the Jina Kebi. Okay. Yeah. So it's actually Kebi.
Wow. Yes.
Wow. Okay. I think you've already mentioned it, but I'm still going to ask again. Aside that, what are some of it? Like, how is it like to compete with the state-owned brands?
Okay, and so we have this is a very interesting question. It's quite a challenge. I believe first of all it's because of our size, and also the state-owned brands. Most of them are let me not say just the state-owned brand, but the bigger brands are free-zone companies. So they have the license to go and buy the cocoa beans and process it. Okay. Yeah. And then we sometimes have to go and buy our raw materials from them. So that is why we sometimes have to pay the import duty on the semi-finished products of cocoa. So it's never easy competing with the big brands out there. And it's also not only the big brands in Ghana, but also the international brands or foreign brands, because some of them are very good chocolates, but they are so expensive, and some are of inferior quality. And unfortunately, some of we Ghanaians think that is chocolate. But sometimes to see if a product is actual chocolate, you have to read the ingredients behind it. If it contains vegetable fat, then it is not chocolate. But if it contains cocoa butter, then it is real chocolate. So sometimes some of the candy that we see in supermarkets, it's just candy. It's not real chocolates like we have in Ghana.
Wow, that's do you actually organize any educational platforms or something? I think probably organizations should do things like this to educate people on.
Yes, I think in our small way we tried to. We did a couple of them on radio, but it's something that we have in our plans. Once in a while, we do that.
I think it will be really great, because most people just go and buy because they see the packaging and then the fact that it's not made in Ghana, so then that means it's super good, so then I'm just going to purchase it, not looking behind it or looking at what goes into it. Wow.
That's true.
That's very true. Now, if we have our audience listening to you, for those both here on the continent and those in the diaspora, if they want to reach Kabi, how do they do that?
Okay, so we are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And for anyone in the diaspora, we also have our chocolates available in US, but you have to kind of reach out to us, and then we will send you the information on how to get it. So our handles on these platforms are Kabi Chocolates GH, as in KABI Chocolates then GH. So when you send that in a message, then we can
Respond, yes. Yeah. Okay. I'm actually not the only one here in the studio. I do have my co-host. I have Mamiaba and I have Hafiz. And I want to find out if they have further questions for you. Mamiaba actually does have questions for you. She's the one who is, obsessed with your toolbox chocolate. So she's coming forward.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, if I'm placing an order for a box of chocolates, right? And can I ask for a specific design?
In a way, yes and no. But when you ask us and we can do it for you, we'll definitely give you like positive news that we can do it for you. Some are within our range, some are not within our range. But we also love to challenge ourselves. In our company, we have a policy that we don't say no. So we like to challenge ourselves. So if you give us something, we try our best to make sure we will do it for you.
Okay. Thank you. I'll be placing an order very soon.
Sure, thank you too.
Okay, well, I think the Hafiz doesn't have a question, but thank you so much for your time. We're really grateful, and I think that's not the end of it. We'll still talk to you, and then we'll still actually follow up on the whole issue about the licensing.
Sure.
Thank you so much once again for your time, and do have a wonderful World Chocolate Day.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was Akua Obenewaa Donkor. She happens to be the founder of Kabi Chocolate here in our base gun. I do have my co-host, like I mentioned, Mort and Hafiz Gunu in the studio, and today happens to be World Chocolate Day. Hafiz.
Yeah, well, she said quite interesting stuff there, and tell you what, I'm never going to see chocolate candy the same way again, because right now I pick up each one I pick up these days. Now I'm going to start questioning it if indeed it's actually sugar coated or real chocolate that I'm consuming anyway. But interesting conversation all around. And she's definitely made some chilling revelations about the whole sector. I mean, we are talking about a country that is the second largest in the production of cocoa beans, and yet we have local producers going through this sort of hassle, just trying to put out a finished product from the same cocoa beans. So you can see that despite the constraints, in the sector, she's definitely putting in very genuine efforts at trying to contribute her bit to the national economy. But what I would say, is in general terms, especially in the cocoa sector, and yes, chocolate is something that people from all walks of life enjoy every now and then. It's something I would like to nibble on every now and then, and just simply enjoy it for the feel good factor. But yes, like you mentioned, we are seeing all these things in the industry. Now, this is one industry that is huge. Yes, it's an industry that is worth some over 150 billion US dollars. Now, and when you talk about the cocoa industry, and especially the primary commodities that goes into it, cocoa beans. Now, we are talking about 70% of it that comes from West Africa, and the countries leading that charts, we are talking Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, and Cameroon in this respect. Now, interesting enough, of the $150 billion we are talking about, these countries, these economies in West Africa only get about less than $6 billion of money. Now, obviously, there's something wrong somewhere, because looking at the chain of production, we are talking about the other factors when it comes to value addition. We have Europe and North America, and that's all they seem to be doing in the chain. Yet somehow they seem to be raking in a lot of the revenue than those that actually, go into cocoa beans and whatnot. So obviously, what is the problem? Now, some time ago, our president took a trip to Switzerland, and in that trip, he made a declaration about how we're going to move away from, the exporting of primary products, and also actually going ahead to process 50% of these cocoa beans domestically. Now he said it, and what's the reality on the ground? I mean, it's a different ball game. It's something different. It's almost as if there's a deliberate policy to stifle very genuine efforts. Now, talk about the free zone aspect she mentioned. Now, here's the thing. The challenge with those producing domestically is that usually when they go to get cocoa beans, now they are competing with multinational companies. And these companies have parent companies out there abroad. So when you are buying cocoa beans domestically, it is sold in dollars. Now to get dollars, these multinational companies, all they need to do is, get in contact with their partners abroad, and they are able to access dollar credit facilities. Now, a domestic company that wants to acquire cocoa beans in dollars has to rely on the banking sector, where credit is very little or limited in terms of access to dollars. So what it means is that from the get-go, they are stifled. And not just that, I think domestic production, attracts a little over 60% in tax. So it actually costs more to produce, to manufacture these things domestically. And I think it defeats the very purpose of trying to add value to the product, and hopefully help us rub shoulders with, the giants on the global stage in terms of, raking in revenues from the chocolate industry anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So today is World Chocolate Day. Where's my chocolate?
You do realize you already have a record of giving me 2 chocolate bars?
That doesn't mean you can't give me chocolate.
Where's my chocolate?
We've agreed.
Agreed what?
On when it will come.
No, where's my chocolate for today? You mentioned today's World Chocolate Day, so that makes it 3 bars of chocolate.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, but the interview was interesting, and like Hafiz said, it was revealing in a way, especially, how do you have to pay? I didn't know people would have to pay. I know about having to pay shipping on these kantankakas. I didn't know it had to do with chocolate as well. Because if we are talking, I remember during the chocolate week, they were talking about how instead of always exporting our chocolate, other cocoa beans, they are finding ways, to also use the cocoa beans to produce things in the country or on the continent. And here you find yourself, and here we find ourselves people who have opened companies, who have startups that would use these cocoa beans to make things, and they have to pay shipping, and they have to go through all of this hassle to get the cocoa beans. Where's the sense in it?
It's about getting the foreign exchange, really. So when you export it directly, what it means is that you get more foreign reserves for your banking sector, and that's it. It's all about the money at the end of the day.
But I feel like in as much as it's all about the money, there should be an exception for people in the country.
Because when you are talking about even domestically, like I said, the whole thing is sold in dollars. So let's say even you want to buy it, you don't have so much dollars lying around for you to actually be able to buy. Unlike these other companies that can easily ask for dollars from their parent companies and then buy more than enough to produce. So from the get-go, your target is not going to be met because you don't even have the capacity to produce, to the level you want to produce.
But here we are talking about how we should start making our raw materials into produce and not always exporting them. Because we cut timber, we export, and then we are importing toothpick. And then we... I don't know why you're coughing. And then we have cocoa beans and we export it, and then we are importing chocolate into the country. It's like, then you're not motivating anybody to actually get all of these raw materials and then produce anything in the country. Because if I have to buy from here and then I have to pay shipping and I have to pay all of that, then I would rather give up. But yeah, I mean, she talked about how they have a policy of not giving up.
Oh yeah, that was in regards to the question you asked about giving them any design. That is different from.
But I think
chasing.
if she was if she had plans of giving up, she would have given up. Because in as much as the hassle is there, we see her still producing chocolate.
Yeah, she's actually not the only one. There are a couple of others, actually quite a number of them I chanced upon. I realized it's a group. I think they're all part of the artisanal chocolate group makers. But I think we should ask ourselves some big questions, and our leaders should actually start. We should apply sense to some of these things and make the priorities right. I mean, seriously, look, we have all these issues on the ground. And then we're looking at going for a $28 million loan to buy new cars for members of parliament because their current cars are not good for the road.
Yeah, because they walk to work.
Why can't they fix the road? I don't want to even go into that one. But then I feel these are problems we should address. We're going to stand on a global stage and be like, we're not going to borrow again. And in less than a year, we are accepting God. We are accepting loans.
What I think government can do to help the industry is to create that environment to allow these guys that are doing something in their own little corner to compete favorably. Because if you look at what's going on at the moment, you realize that the condition is more favorable to foreign investors.
And the companies that are into the free zones, and most of the free zones companies are large corporations.
Exactly. So what it means is that you can't compete with these guys.
Oh, no.
Okay. I mean, in terms of revenue, in terms of size, in terms of employability and whatnot, you cannot compete with these guys. And so when they are engaging, foreigners, what it means is that you are an afterthought. Okay, your needs are relegated to the background, and that's what we need to be very worried about. Because if there are any companies that would help in, solving problems such as unemployment, it's these guys. Because yes, the individuals that graduate and have nothing to lean on and are sitting down waiting for governmental appointments, these are the companies that would absorb them if they are doing well. Now, of course, you create the environment where these guys aren't able to compete. What it means is that you are saying for those that are unemployed, they should continue staying home and doing nothing. And I think it's something that we need to be worried about. We really need to be very worried about. I mentioned the case of South Africa and what they are doing with Ceres. Because with South Africa, I mean, when you come in, whatever things you are doing, it shouldn't really hamper the progress of a company like Ceres. And that is why it is doing so well. And we are seeing a lot of South African brands in our economies here. Why is that? Because these are local companies that are able to do so well in the South African market. They are able to export their commodities and their franchises elsewhere. How many Ghanaian companies can you say, okay, they started out as indigenous companies and they are able to spread their tentacles to other economies in the sub-region?
You don't even have the conducive atmosphere. Forget about growing and spreading. It explains why you find a lot of golden trees as compared to other local brands, because it's not as if the brands don't exist. They do exist. But then if these are the conditions, how can they survive long enough
exactly
to find themselves on the shelves?
And if not for the fact that we have chocolate in focus, I don't think a lot of us would have even known these brands. Yes, for those that are chocolate heads, I understand they would know these brands and maybe seek them out. Now, for those that are not are passive, people that enjoy chocolate like myself, I mean, it's not like I go seeking these brands, but I think it's just Kingsbite I know, which is the state-owned one. The rest, unless of course we are talking about these things in focus. So, for me, I think we are doing ourselves a lot of disservice in the way we are handling, the chocolate industry. Yes, it's an industry that has been crying for attention for a long time. But yet still, it seems we know the problem, but the motivation to actually carry out, these measures is what's lacking. And that is something that is rather unfortunate. I mean, yes, we need to beef up our foreign reserves, but I mean, we can think of very ingenious ways to do that rather than just leveraging our cocoa beans to the global world anyway.
Yeah, we are just killing ourselves. That's true. I'm not excited, but well, since we're already talking about it, I'm just going to mention a couple of brands we have here in our base Ghana that per some, well, when you look at it, you're looking at world class standard. They do tend to meet, and so we have Dilaf chocolates. Dilaf, like D like French, and then laugh. Dilaf chocolates.
Like laugh, as in like laugh.
Ha ha ha, yeah, and then DE with the asa. The apostrophe here by the side.
Okay.
Dilaf chocolates. So this is actually by Ida Della Kweku Osteen, and she happens to be the co-founder of Dilaf chocolates. And yes, we also have Kabi. We've already spoken to Kabi.
Yeah, my peeps.
Mod. Let me just keep quiet. We also have Chocolove. Chocolove. Like chocolate and love, but not LOVE, So you can check them out. They actually have ginger flavored chocolates.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you to go and buy ginger flavored chocolates for yourself. And then we have 57. They have a Dinkra symbols on their chocolates, the chocolate bars. 57 chocolates. I think this picked from the 1957 thing. It's a pioneer bean to bar chocolate business here in our base Ghana, and they're key on creativity and authenticity. We also have Bioko, and they make, I don't know, I forgot the name for this thing, but
is it BIOKO?
Mm-hmm.
I think
You've
heard
seen
about
them. Yeah,
them.
their
I've
first
seen
O
something.
has the cocoa pod in the middle of it, and they make these like gomits. You know, the ones they've sprinkled things on, Easter egg type of chocolates, colors. You know what they? I don't know how to.
Is it like the pebbles?
Yeah, this is bigger, and then they've sprinkled colors on it, but it's chocolate. When you bite it, it's like chocolate, normal chocolate, but it's designed creatively.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they make those kind of chocolates. Now we also have Fair Afrique. Yeah, so it's like Fair Africa. And yes, they have different ranges from 43% to 60% to 70% to 80%. I think it's key when you start looking at, now that she's actually explained the fact that you should check the ingredients at the back and see whether it's vegetable fat or cocoa butter. I think Hafiz said he's going to do that from now onwards. So
Yeah, I think okay, I think you can land with the names.
we also have a Bar chocolate. A Bar. They also make the white and then the dark chocolate as well. So these are 7 of local production of chocolate here in our base Ghana. That kind of meets world standard out there.
Okay, I know Kabi makes white chocolate as well,
Yeah,
and then they make dark chocolates as well.
yeah.
And I was saying, she talking about looking at the ingredients when you're taking chocolate candy. I was going to say, when you actually take chocolate candy, there's this weird
But not
taste.
because how do you tell the difference, the dark and the normal chocolate? Is one darker
The
than the
dark
other?
is
Yeah, the
dark
dark
and
is
it's
really dark.
bitter.
There's
it's
one
not-
that's bitter. I was just about to ask.
That's
It
the
was-
dark
it's not-
chocolate.
That's the dark
It's not
chocolate.
like bitter.
No, it's
Like,
bitter.
it's bitter, but it's not like bitter like the
one-
No,
crazy
no,
kind of
The
bitter.
one I gave you is like 50% dark chocolate.
Okay.
The one I like is 90% dark chocolate. You should try that. It's
But why would
bitter.
anybody go for the bitter
Because
taste?
it's good for
I
you.
already knew that
Chocolate is good
after
for
putting
your
it in my
heart.
mouth.
It's good for your heart. It's healthy.
Like why?
I don't know. Interestingly, everybody I've given some to, they just take it and like they don't like it. And
Oh,
I'm
I
like,
like dark chocolate.
Like why?
why don't you like dark chocolate?
It's actually
No,
nice.
you see,
Like, when
you see.
get past the
Listen.
bitter
I mean, you don't exactly see chocolate on the street and like, okay, I'm eating it for my heart. No, I'm. Come on. I see that I'm like, I want to enjoy this. Then I put it in my mouth and it tastes some rich. And I'm like, what is this?
No, but that chocolate is actually nice when you get past the bitter taste.
The one,
There's no getting past it.
No, the 50% dark chocolates. Like she's taking that one. It's cool. That one, it's not that bitter.
I'm taking more than 50% dark chocolates, and
60,
I like it.
70.
I don't know.
I'll give you 90, and then you tell me whether you still
I
like
mean,
it.
if I'm looking to take care of my heart, so
I love-
I'm not thinking chocolate.
I
I'm
love-
thinking
I
something
love the
else.
So
night-
what you won't exercise, you won't jog, will you?
I do that. No, I'm talking about food. What to put in my mouth to help my heart. I'm saying, come on, chocolate isn't exactly the first thing that pops up in your head. Yeah,
it's an acquired taste.
It's not even an acquired taste. Chocolate is like, I mean, instead of, I'd rather take dark chocolate for my heart
than the sugar.
Than do exercise.
See, that's for someone that knows, that has the luxury of time to know these
What
things.
did you say? You rather take dark chocolate than do exercise.
Yes.
The two of them are not interchangeable. If you're still taking dark chocolate, you still need to exercise.
I know, I get that. But sometimes there are exercises that you do to strengthen the heart, right? To get it to
so
work.
you rather
actually
eat
work.
that
So
to
Eating is not part of it. Eating is not exercise.
you rather chunk it up and
Eating is not exercise.
it's like you're pouring fuel in your heart and then do whatever you want to do, right?
But it's interesting how we've christened Valentine's Day as Chocolate Day
That
in
is
these parts.
Ghana.
In Ghana,
Yeah,
yes, that's what we're talking about, Ghana.
Okay.
But these are the challenges that people in the sector are facing.
Yes.
I mean, very little is done to address these challenges. Yet, I mean, when it's Valentine's Day, we get told it's Chocolate Day, patronized made in Ghana chocolates.
I think
And one brand seems to be, shoved in your face all the time. So how about the other brand? I mean, we could do a whole lot with our chocolate industry, but it seems we are not using it to its fullest potential, and that is very worrying.
But I think this year
recently there was a report that
this year we're trying to address some of these things, because more than I went to a place where they actually had different brands and they were actually like promoting some of them.
Yeah,
but then more work.
I think he is talking about promoting
the local.
Not even the local. The brands that actually make chocolates. The brands that we saw were in chocolate.
Mainly
brands. They were doing other things.
Look,
it's like pomade, alcohol, other stuff.
There was one for like medicine or something.
We should be very worried, because recently we hear China has ventured into the cocoa space.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
and it should be bad news to anybody that loves Ghana and know what cocoa means for for our economy.
Yes.
I mean, know what it means for our economy, because I mean, it's China we are talking about. So when they get in there, then there's going to be trouble a lot of the time.
They have gotten
for us,
in there.
well,
Yeah, I think I saw a report where it's like they're starting to make a place where they will plant their own cocoa trees.
China.
And already out of 150, how much are you taking? Less than 6 billion. Less than 6 of 150 mod.
It's just.
It's greedy people in places of management.
I
Just said it.
she just laid it out.
The thing is annoying. It's just greedy people in places of management, because the people are just thinking, oh, probably I have somebody in this business, so if I help you with this corporation, I'm making this amount. There's no form of national thought or patriotism or how to even develop the nation. Everybody is just there to get a piece of the national cake for themselves, forgetting that the actions they are bringing about today is going to affect the generation. Just greedy people sitting in place of management and power, spending money. $28 million for V8. Come and fix the road and ride bicycles to work. It will exercise and give you long life. Thank you guys so much. We've had a very wonderful, interesting discussion on the show. At this juncture, if I don't stop, I still might rant because I'm very upset. Every day we keep seeing one thing after the other. Things keep happening. I don't even want to talk about Makola, because you can't come there, fire service, and tell us you don't have water, you don't have fuel. And you are a fire service station and you are just there waiting for fire to come. God have mercy. Thank you guys so much. Please do want to buy chocolates for somebody. Please buy a local made chocolate brand. Local. Get them. Support them. And I think from now we should make the effort to start looking out for these local brands. I've mentioned a couple of them. So we support them. And if in any way you can actually start putting out the thing that she talked about, the whole the clearance thing, the law they have, so that if it can be addressed, it is addressed properly, so they can actually get the needed awareness on this. So these people also, because like I mentioned, Tanzania, Rwanda, and is it Kenya, they have created an atmosphere. Kagame himself has actually you don't put duties on importation of raw materials for startups in the country, for locals that are working hard to produce something. He has actually cut off the duty. So he's creating a conducive atmosphere for the entrepreneurs in Rwanda, so they'll be able to make something and be able, because he says that if we're charging you this much duty, how much are they going to make? This is somebody who is looking ahead and thinking of the people, and it is helping a lot of Rwandans. We've seen so many Rwandan brands come out into the market. I think we should start looking at these things and emulating them. It's not about going to sign, and act the things you're signing, and let's grow the people on the continent. It's ours for all that we can do.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and share.